Okay.
Toward that, as we move forward to other clients, other projects, looking into the future, what are some of your lessons learned? How do you counsel your colleagues who might not have had the level of experience and commitment that you've had? How do you counsel those clients who have not yet recognized the values that you've articulated for us?
Well, we're going to show and prove our results, for instance, on Dell. I've got an MBA student from Ohio State coming in for the summer to analyze the data in terms of the business case for Dell, and let's prove all of these things that we said. We said we were going to do these things for employee recruitment, employee retention, productivity, reducing medical errors, improving medical outcomes, etc. And it's our intent to look at that. We already know on a philanthropy standpoint that the project was the second largest fundraising effort in Central Texas, second only to the University of Texas, which obviously has a international reputation, a broad alumni base, and is really not comparable, but nonetheless they blew through the ceiling of all of their fundraising efforts, and that was a lot of that was not only was it very appealing as a children's hospital, it was also because of the green nature of the building. So our intent is to go out and prove our case, and I think we'll be very easily able to prove the case. And I've been out trying to educate people in the healthcare industry and in the architectural profession for the past 2 years, doing numerous USGBC and AIA things, including the National Convention, to try to tell our story and say that it's simply not impossible. Yeah, we had the wonderful gift of a very willing client who wanted to do this and the foresight. But again, that also happened in the atmosphere of Austin, Texas. Austin is known for its sustainability efforts, and so all of that stuff works to reinforce each other. And I think now we've got, when we started that, I was kind of wondering how am I ever going to get people to buy into this 5 years ago when we originally kicked that project off. And what we're seeing now is it's not so far-fetched anymore. So I think we just have to show people the positive benefits of all of this, and that it costs a lot of money to train a nurse in a hospital, and it costs a lot of money to lose a doctor that brings in a lot of income to that particular institution and keeps a lot of mouths fed. So again, they're using that to their benefit right now, and all the notoriety that project has done. I just received an email today from the CEO talking about yet another tour they want to do of that project in October tied to a symposium. And he goes, oh no, keep it coming. All of this publicity, all this thing that we're getting out of this project is all win-win for us, and we're delighted to have people tour our building. So that's working to the good of this is to just get out now and prove our case, and have it be such an inevitable thing that it doesn't require convincing at all. Here's the facts. I'm not having to twist your arm. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, I'd like to echo what Joe said about, I think the empirical data that we're getting back now is proving out the point. And I think the other item is, especially in an educational institution, for example, Audubon Center, impacting, having children understand what the downstream effect is of decisions that are made, and understanding that the relationship of the sun to the earth, and how that changes with latitude and longitude, and also with regard to water, how we deal with water coming off of buildings. So both energy use and dealing with sort of rainwater collection, that type of thing. But the empirical data is really doing a lot of the work for us already, and our clients have seen it even pre-lead. Jack Hedge, my mentor, 25 plus years ago, began exploring projects with a sustainable approach, and in a very quiet way, sort of off the radar, slowly building faith in it over time through client relationships, being able to help owners realize savings to their facilities without them really thinking of it as more sort of a green approach. It was more to them an approach that signified a high-performance approach to a building project.
And with regard to your concern about us slipping back, I don't think we're going to be able to slip back. I don't think we're going to slip back into dollar or $2 a gallon gas.
I don't think we already do.
And frankly, that was the start of my career as an architect, and some of those buildings in the mid-'70s were pretty dreadful. They were windowless bunkers. I remember
They got it wrong, that's why, yeah.
schools having sodium lighting inside of them, which was like about the color of this wall, which made everybody look rather jaundiced and dreadful. So I think some of that architecture probably deserved to be rejected by people. And I think at this point there is no turning back. We simply have achieved peak oil. We're seeing the degradation that's going on in the planet. There were some at the time, the Club of Rome, people like Ehrlich, Paul Ehrlich, who talked about population bomb, etc., were screaming at the top of their lungs, so to speak, but I'm not sure anybody listened to them. I think all that stuff has come to fruition now. We have no choice but to listen to Mother Earth here and clean up our act.
I think there's two resources that are out there, though, that might help someone who hasn't been through this process. There's the AIA Committee on the Environment. I believe their website has a wealth of information. And even if you're not doing a LEED project, to have that checklist kind of at hand and maybe run through some of the calculations or do something small, like go for trying to recycle your construction waste. And it's a nominal cost, really, for the premium that they put on the dumpster pool, and just learn by doing and go for it.
I think we're also seeing the schools take sustainability in terms of it's a very great aesthetic, where I have seen in most of my career other aesthetic issues driving the bus in terms of what people wanted to do in architecture, and there's so much wonderful aesthetic opportunity in green architecture. And so I'm really happy to see the schools stepping up, and I notice it in the younger designers here that people view that as embodied in what they do and the kind of things they look to emulate and the kind of things that all architects look to do in their designs. I see wonderful opportunity for really expressive architecture and architecture that really enriches people and is good architecture. So I'm very, very encouraged by that.
Right, as I said earlier, it's not secondary, it's part of the process.
Yeah, I think the word you used was organic,
Yes.
which is very fitting.